What's going on, guys? Welcome to our new episode of Shahs and Kings. I think we're on episode 15 now. And I guess today we're going to talk about the inauguration, but not just the inauguration, but now that Trump is gone, this is kind of a new era. And I thought that we would probably just talk about what we're hoping, what we're expecting in the Biden presidency. And now that Trump is gone, maybe how we can heal as a nation. All three of us have slightly different political views, but I would say that um, we're all pretty thrilled to see Trump go. At the very least, like we all agree that um, he's got to go, and he did go. So at the very least, we're pretty pumped about that. Um, and I was watching the inauguration today, and I was also monitoring the internet for some dank memes that were coming out of this inauguration, and the meme war has taken a new turn for once. And I don't know if you guys saw the Bernie Sanders one with like the chairs and the mittens, right? That's
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
everyone's been like posting like a very like some sort of some like their own version of it. I think it's fucking great. So I've been watching like they were doing like these crazy fireworks and like these A-list celebrity performances with like J Lo and uh you know
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, John Legend, and
I mean,
like
I think even A Rod showed up. He's not even singing or entertaining anyone. He just happened to be there, I guess, because of J Lo. But still a celebrity, I guess. Who
not
knows?
either way, like the mood in like based on like what I was seeing from that inauguration, like the mood was very like it was almost as if they like overthrew like the Darth Vader, or I mean I never watched Star Wars, but like it almost felt like the moment where like Simba kills Scar. And then he's like walking, and then he's like walking through, like walking up the Pride Rock, and he does that roar, and like all the lions are happy and pumped, and you see like the darkness turn into light, like all of a sudden, like that's kind of like what the inauguration felt like, regardless of like what your political views are. It was like you could tell that that was definitely the theme, that whoever organized this inauguration, like that's like what we're doing, we're going from darkness to lights, this is a new era. And it reminded me of because I'm into like Persian mythology, when in the Shahnameh, when Feraydun overthrew Zahak, and like all of Persia was like pretty pumped about it, and everyone was hype, and yeah, yay, like no more Zahak, no more Araman, right? No more, like, and it did feel like that. Even I felt that way. I actually woke up in the
Mhm.
morning just to see Trump leave to go to the helicopter to say bye, and you saw the tears on his son, like Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, and dude, they were so nutritious. The tears were so nourishing, dude, so good, so good. And it was a beautiful day. I
I'm just
I,
waiting to see Donald Trump Jr.'s book in like the airport next time I actually go on a plane.
I
I know for a fact he's going to have a book about how his dad's election got stolen, and it's going to be front and center,
yeah.
airplane bookstore.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this is like it's like a movie. You know that in 4 years he's probably gonna like try to run for re-election, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
gonna be like the return of like I don't know, like
It's
what.
literally like Star Wars. It's Return of the Jedi. And if you watch, anyone who's watched that movie, I was telling you about the sheet, but anybody's watched that movie, go ahead and watch the end of Return of the Jedi, and then go watch today's inauguration. Tell me that you can't draw some sort of fucking parallels.
yep.
That being said, I have a couple words, a parting words for Mr. Trump, if you will. To quote the great Frank Sinatra, so farewell, farewell.
Hey, yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Yeah, no. Yeah. So, I mean, so far he's with Biden, he's already like reversed some of Trump's worst policy decisions. The travel ban, that's now, he undid that. He stopped
Should
the
have placed a travel ban on Trump, but that's
yeah,
another story.
right. That's just, yeah. He
At least
put
he's not
he
allowed in, like, what is it, Ireland, or that's banned him.
really
Yeah, I think
Oh
that
really?
Ireland banned him from like coming and traveling over there. So
Ireland did.
It was either Ireland or Scotland. It was one of those two. I think it was Ireland, where like initially they didn't want him to go play golf a couple weeks ago.
So that's
Oh,
hilarious.
okay.
Yeah, he
I
has
think he's
like
like banned
some.
from going there now, but don't quote me on that. It's just something I read today, I believe.
Yeah, because I thought he had some golf courses in Scotland.
Yeah, it could have been Scotland. Like, but again, like don't quote me on it. I know that I could have read it one way or the other, but either way, I heard today that he's banned. So he's
Yeah.
got somewhat of a travel ban. But every country in the
Yeah,
world should
banned
ban
from
Trump.
Scotland. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Scotland. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. So now that Trump's gone, and Biden's president, he already did do some things that I do like. Um, and I'm pretty pumped about it. But I mean, I don't expect him to be like America's savior or anything like that. Like I said, I was a Bernie Sanders guy in 2016 and 2020, but I will say that like, uh, maybe just because the bar is so damn low, after what we like lived through these last 4 years, and let me tell, I want to tell everyone a story here. Uh, 4 years ago, literally exactly 4 years ago, uh, during the transition period between Obama and Trump, like around from like November to like January 20th, I was involved with a girl, and like things were going so great. Well, at least I thought it was, right? And I was like, oh my god, like this is great. Like this girl's definitely the one. Literally the day Trump got inaugurated, she like disappeared, ghosted, and it fucked me up so bad. And I remember thinking like, this is symbolic. Literally the day like Trump got inaugurated, this shit happens to me. Like this is that it's just this is like a taste of what the next 4 years is gonna be like. This motherfucker right here, like. And now that like Trump, now that he's gone, like even though that obviously that has
Oh,
nothing to do with
did
me.
she hit you up again now that he's gone?
No, man, but my one of my friends, one of my close friends, she
Oh
hit me up
shit.
today, and today she got accepted to law school. And like these last 4 years, she's been having like tons of anxiety over not getting into law school, blah blah blah. And now, literally, the day Trump's gone, I just got into law school. It's almost like I don't know, like good things happen when Trump's not like here. Like no, I am excited. I am somewhat of a superstitious guy, so I am pretty excited to see what these next 4 years um have in store for me personally. And part of that is obviously like mentally it's manifestation, because I'm pretty sure like a lot of the people who like Trump a lot, and when they were excited that he got elected 4 years ago, like because they became optimistic, uh they started to sort of manifest things into their life, and they probably like gave a lot of credit to Trump for that, right? And like I guess like same with me, like when Trump, literally the day Trump got elected, I remember it was cloudy, it was raining. I was like, what the fuck did the world just do? And I literally felt like it was the end of the world, and that probably like manifested into my life, you know.
Libtard. I'm just
so but now I'm just sitting
oh
here
god.
drinking Trump tears, Q-tard tears. There was a video I showed you guys earlier where there was
I
like
hear those
this.
keep you young.
What's that?
I hear
What?
Trump tears keep you young.
They do.
Keep you looking young.
Have you been
Yeah,
drinking?
it's all the Big Mac seats. Special sauce, bro. Does wonders for you.
Dude, Farnoosh, I know you've been drinking those tears because like you're what 39, yet you look like you're 27. Like, damn.
I also like sacrifice goats on the pentagram, but I'm not supposed to tell people that
There you
either.
go.
Does that
See,
keep you young?
that's the real secret.
Should I try that?
What?
No,
I think you
don't.
should. You might grow your hair back. You never know.
Hey, that's what I want to do. Like, yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Trump
you never
Trump got
know.
it. Yeah, once Trump got inaugurated, like my hair started falling out a lot faster. Like everything just went to shit, man. Now I'm pretty sure that like within 2 weeks of Biden's inauguration, like it's all gonna grow back. And
You
life will
gotta
be.
I'm
believe.
still I'm still concerned for Joe, man. I want to start a poll. Will Biden make it through his 4 years of presidency without kicking the bucket,
Yeah.
or will Kamala take over?
How soon will Kamala start poisoning him with arsenic? That's the real question.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Uh,
Some
We'll
ether.
find out.
yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like
Oh
we keep.
god.
I feel like everyone just keeps underestimating Joe. I mean,
Well,
I mean,
maybe that'll
he did
revive
mess
him.
up corn pop pretty good. So I mean,
corn pop.
it's
Maybe
true.
that's what drives them to keep going. Maybe that's what will make them successful. If that's
Hmm.
what it takes, then I'll underestimate them all day. Let them prove me wrong. As far as I'm concerned, I
Well,
mean, I don't have any
people.
problem with him being in office, but yeah, I mean, if being underestimated drives them, then by all means, I'll keep underestimating him so some good shit happens.
I mean, I feel like people generally do have lower expectations from him. And that's why I think that like whenever he leaves office, his approval ratings will be relatively okay. You know, um, I
Hmm.
don't know if he's gonna run for a second term because he's a little up there in age, but
I mean, he'll be
He is the
82 by
oldest guy
then.
ever
So
elected. Oldest guy ever elected.
yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah, yeah. And I know by then it might be like Kamala Harris versus I don't even want to know who right now, but yeah,
The continuation of the Obama administration by default.
with Biden.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was his vice president. I'm pretty, and they're really close. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that their, political philosophies are pretty close in line with each other. And if it's safe to assume, probably that Kamala is along the same lines, I think that um, it's not too
she's
far
not
fetched
though.
to think that.
She's a little bit more to the left than Biden is. And I think like yeah, Biden's a pretty like moderate dude and like yeah, like he's not gonna like make college free or have universal health care, but I think like he has a progressive circle around him. Like he has Kamala, he has a majority in the Senate who I think might push him to the left, hopefully at least. But I don't know. Democrats tend to be a little bit more naive when they have like a majority in power. Like they have like this all of a sudden like some misguided sense of bipartisanship, and they end up getting like fucked over in the end.
Well, she and I know you watched the inauguration,
Yeah,
so let me ask you something. Besides all the seriousness with Biden and how he'll do as president, in that whole fiasco and all this stuff going on, who else did you have your eye on? I mean, were you looking at anybody in particular to see how they would behave or what was going on or the
yeah,
reactions?
yeah. I'm okay. I'll say a few things. I thought like the interaction between Pence and like everyone else was kind of funny because Trump was a little bitch. He couldn't like show up because he was petty as hell. So Mike Pence was just like awkwardly there, and with like surrounded by all the Democrats around him, and like you can just like tell he was like not comfortable at all, and I thought that was pretty
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. Like like I did think it was cool that like him and like Kamala like talked a little bit, had some laughs. Even though it was kind of cringe. And I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I think Kamala Harris is kind of hot, and like, I think like for her age and like, dude, she's
Oh
fine. Like,
god.
dude, she's
What in
fine.
hot
Like,
Persian mom way or
Oh god.
what?
yeah, dude. Like, listen, that's not that.
Hey,
There's
you have
nothing
your own
wrong with
opinions. You're entitled to.
this.
I'm just
There's
trying to
listen.
establish it.
I listen. I like her as vice president. I like what she wants to bring forward, but I'm simply acknowledging that she's fine. Like it's not sexist. All right.
Oh
Like
no, I never said it was
yeah
sexist. I was
yeah
just establishing that you find her hot in like a hot Persian mom way, you know?
yeah. Like she's kind of a milf, but she's not a mom. I believe right. Like I don't think she's a
Oh
mom.
god.
She's old enough to be one though. I mean, her niece is like what, 18, 19?
So
Well,
she's like
actually,
an
it's older. She's an attorney, so yeah, she'd have to be older than that to have
so
a
what is
law
she like an
degree.
so would that be called like an elf? Like I'd like to, you know,
If it's not called that, you just coined it. So
elf.
go ahead and
Yeah.
trademark it right now.
Listen, that's by the way, Madam Vice President, if you're listening, you know, I'm gonna kiss you. No, I'm kidding. But
Holla at your boy. He's out here.
your boy, I'm out here. You can
Oh
slide into
God.
my DMs if you're not. I'm fucking with you. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, like that's kind of like what I noticed. I thought it was I thought it was cool to see the interactions of all the presidents together. Like you seeing Obama, Bill, and Bush all just like chilling next to each other, and they were able to be like all civil. And they did this little three-way speech where they're all like having a conversation with each other. And even though it was kind of corny, and even though I don't really agree with compromising with the other side, I thought it was generally the right message to have. Um, um, I kind of miss the days when George Bush was the biggest dumbass of the country. Uh, like I saw George Bush today, and I'm like, yo, this isn't even like comparable to Trump. Like, we used to think this guy was retarded. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it kind of scares me because in 4 years, like, or in 8 years, like whatever happens, like the next Republican candidate is just gonna like stoop lower and lower and lower, like they've always have. Like they always have, man. Like Ronald Reagan was an actor. He was a fucking actor. And I will probably say he was worse than Trump. I think Reagan was worse than Trump. And then, I think Bush was pretty fucking bad too, like the first Bush, but uh I think at least he was competent and still a bad person all around. And then you got Bill Clinton who like who's all right, he liked getting head. I guess we all do. And
Oh
you know,
well,
yeah,
I
and
have a
it's
soft spot for GW. I always watch GW. I know that his presidency is horrible. There's no debate about that. But there's something about that guy that makes me want to have a beer with him and chill with him. I like GW as a person, not as a
yeah,
president.
I
But
hear
I
you,
think
bro.
like I want to go to a football game. I know he likes the Cowboys.
Does he
Holla at
smoke?
me. Bye. I can't say for certain. Wouldn't surprise me if he did. You have a thing for Kamala Harris. I want to kick it with GW. GW, if you're
All
at me, get in my DMs. Holla at me. We'll go catch a Cowboys game
No.
and pick up on some presidential honeys.
Yeah. I honestly and I do honestly think this, like I don't think George W. Bush wasn't like a fundamentally sick, evil human being. Like I don't. Um and like I think like, and this is like something where I disagree with on front with like people on my side of the political aisle, where like they hate Obama too, because like, oh, Obama like droned kids in Yemen and Libya and all that stuff. And then like because like Obama, like when he campaigned back in like 2008, like he tried to come off as like very liberal, very progressive, anti-war, and then like when he was in president, it was kind of like a different story, right? And I think like there's just and I genuinely think that like people like Obama, like before they get into office, like they genuinely want like to like be anti-war and all that, but then like they have their briefings with the military, and they have more classified briefings, and they get more of an insight, and they realize, oh, we can't just pull out. This is a very complicated issue. And the choice is like, do I drone or do I risk a terror attack? Like like these are really tough decisions. That doesn't make Obama a fundamentally evil human being. It's just like, yo, when your job is to like, when like some people just
It's
have,
whack-a-mole. You got to take out threats as they occur, and you can't wait for them to spring up.
yeah, and you just don't really know. But part of, and like I guess like part of the, and I guess like that's just the problem with American presidencies. Period. Is like, unfortunately, that just comes with the job. Like, because America by we are an imperialist country. I would like we have a certain role in the world, and I even and if you're running for president, you shouldn't be so naive to think that you can just, unfortunately, like just toss that away. I think even if like Bernie Sanders became president, like yeah, he had all these grand visions and stuff like that, but then especially like with foreign policy, um but I think like once Bernie would have gotten into office, he probably would have been like, okay, I don't think I can just pull out. Uh,
That's what she said.
I knew
Yeah.
you were gonna do that, dude. I once I said that, I paused. I'm like, wait, fuck. I was like, yeah,
I just
yeah,
had to
fuck you,
take my
man. Fuck,
opening.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it also doesn't help that a lot of our allies don't have their own militaries to the same extent we do. So like our bases are basically their military all around the world. And because we're essentially in any other time period we would be considered like a trade empire basically. Like we don't directly like go in and conquer places and then like lord over them, right? We go there, we might set up a base, we let them basically do what they want, we might set up trade, try to stabilize a region, but we're not like, Genghis Khan just like conquering shit and then to like telling people, all right,
yeah.
now you have to live like this or shit like that. It's like a different, it's like basically like Venice was, or like different empires throughout history that weren't based on conquest solely.
It's more. I feel like it's more over control over resources or
Right.
building allies with certain countries that have access to countries with resources.
Yeah. Because we're not like a heavy handed type of, I mean, our whole country wasn't even set up to be an empire in the first place. That kind
It
of,
wasn't. Yeah.
yeah, that kind of fell onto our lap after with the Spanish American War. And then we started
Right.
going down that road more. But um,
It was probably like World War I that started that path. That
yeah,
really
well,
like.
after the Spanish American War, we got the Philippines and Guam,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
what else did we get? That we got there was some other island chain we got at that point too, but yeah, a little fuzzy on it right now. But then yeah, after World War I, we became like a major power because before that we weren't really. Um, and then World War II just kind of solidified that even more.
Yeah. World War II. I think once that war was over, America became the number one superpower. After that, well, I would say probably competing with Russia after World War II, and then probably in the late 80s, America just probably emerges number one.
Yep.
After
Yeah.
the
Ironically,
collapse
because
of
of
the
Reagan.
Soviet Union. Yep.
Well, I don't know. Again, like with Reagan, it's like we've been fighting the Cold War for like how many decades, and then like Reagan just kind of like, oh, it just happened to all ultimately like end with Reagan.
Well, no, but Reagan had more like severe policies. That's why it ended as quickly. Like once he was in good ones, he
Mm,
basically took like a more severe stance toward the Soviet Union that led to the collapse more quickly than it would have otherwise. But he
you
also
know,
had terrible like there's the Reaganomics stuff, which is
Yeah, be
yeah.
thankful you didn't live through Reaganomics. I lived through Reaganomics.
yeah,
Dare to keep your kids off drugs. Fuck you. And I'm not, hey, I say that because in all sincerity, I know it had the sincerest mission statement at heart, but it was born from a bad place and it didn't work. Honestly, I think it attracted more kids to drugs, and
Mm.
those commercials are misleading. Here's your brain, cracking the egg, put it in the frying pan. Here's your brain on drugs. Like, really? What kind of like logical explanation is that to tell people, hey, that drugs are not good for you? It's like, um, then you have the whole opera. I could go on and on about Reagan. Operation Star Wars, why we're $1 billion in debt over something that never got completed, over a satellite defense system that was supposed to be able to counteract um, attacks from different countries in the world, that even launch offensives if necessary. Um, and just overall, there's a reason why Reagan's called the Teflon Don, because nothing would stick. That dirty bastard did a bunch of shit, but nothing would stick, because all you do as a former actor would come on and smile on TV and wave, and everyone's like, "Oh, we love Reagan." Fuck Reagan.
Yep.
I leave it to 4 words. I'm glad. That's 3 words. I'm glad Reagan's dead. Have you heard that song Reagan with Killer Mike?
I have not, but I've been to the Reagan Museum. It's
Uh,
literally 20 minutes away from where I live.
oh, it's
Um,
in L.A.
it is in a county called Ventura County, but I'm near the border of LA County and Ventura County. You drive up like 20 minutes. For people that are in Cali, they're probably familiar with it, but for the rest of our viewers, you basically go up there. It's a museum. You can go look at everything that was going on during the time period of his presidency. They give you like the history of his life, give history behind his assassination attempt. They have a model you can go in, but you're not allowed to take pictures of the original before they replaced it. The original Air Force One. You can walk through it and whatnot. And then usually what they do is it's like a estate. The actual place you visit, I have pictures. They have a replica of the Oval Office. The estate that it's on is actually really beautiful. Like if you go look at the hills and the cliffs and whatever. And they usually hold other exhibits at this museum. Um, like car shows and all that, which have nothing to do with his presidency. They just like to host them there. But the main thing is the Reagan it's a library, but it's a museum. They call it the Reagan Library, and you can go there and read up on that asshole Reagan.
Yeah. Does every president get a library?
No, it's not as far as I know,
I
but
think I think George Bush got one.
he might
Um,
have. He might
and
have.
I think that's in Texas.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I'm pretty sure Obama was like in. I think like he's having one too, right? I think I've heard that like he wants to do his own library. I think they're definitely gonna do an Obama one. I mean, first black president, like they're just, they're not gonna like let that go.
Yeah,
Well,
that one
nor
was
should
pretty
they,
much a
by the way.
given.
Uh, that obviously huge achievement, awesome. I didn't mean it like however you thought I meant it. All right, just wanted to
Don't
get that out
worry,
Oh,
there. Yeah,
viewers
like I'm
understand.
like wait, hold on.
2021 almost got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I voted for him twice. Like I got a mug. All right, I got an Obama mug, and
You don't,
y'all got.
Shane. You don't have to virtue
You
signal right
you
now.
you you
All
can
right, we
stop
believe
now.
you.
You can
I
stop
We
now.
believe you.
Don't dig yourself don't dig
change
yourself a
weekend
deeper
count.
hole by justifying it. Just say you voted for him.
Oh my god.
But
I got an Obama shirt, man. Like okay,
Yeah, right,
yeah.
yeah.
like
Well,
um
something tells me that Mr. Trump is not going to get a library, not unless it's independently funded. I doubt the government of the
He's
United
gonna build
States.
himself his own library in Greenland,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
that's
like I
something that he
said,
would do.
independently funded.
That's something that he would do.
I
Yeah.
heard what he left on Air Force One. He left to the song of like In Sync's "I Want It That Way," but
Did
Oh
he
my
really?
god.
I can't confirm that. But some people told me that today, and told me that it was the corniest shit ever. If anybody knows and drops that in the comments, please confirm or deny that for me because I heard from a few people. I want to know if that was actually like someone yanking my chain or if that's real. Because if it was, it's fucking hilarious.
I think a lot of it was like just like rock music, like basically shit that like Tony Stark would listen to. Like like it's just like classic rock music that. And you know what's funny, man? Like every time that guy's like plays, every time he plays music and at his one of his rallies, like the artist of that song will like speak out and be like, "Yo, like I did not give this guy permission." Like
Oh
it's like
yeah.
it's because like like the Trump movement has like this false image of defiance and rebelliousness where it's really like not, it's really the opposite of that. And like a lot of these like artists, like they sing about like like overcoming and like fighting the system, and like a lot of them are like, well, Trump is the system that like we've been singing about for like 20, 30 years, and like now they're using, like, ironically, like they're it's like some odd form of projection, I guess.
Yeah. And
Speaking of which,
then his followers will say, "No, we're fighting the system. Fuck you." It's
Have you
like
seen a video of
yeah.
a couple magatards like rapping to and singing to like killing in the name of with Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah,
The
no, I know the song, but wait, really?
Yeah, there it was just like two, like it was like three magatars with like they were wearing the American flag as like a cape, and they were just
Mhm.
like they must have been drunk or something. They're like, "Now you do what they told you," and like they're like all
Oh
drunk and
yeah,
sloppy, and everyone's just looking at them like, "What?" Like, like
Oh my
you know,
god.
yeah. And speaking of
KYS man.
musical
Like,
choices, man,
yeah.
the inauguration. Now, I know that you follow him, Shaheen. I don't know if you follow him, Keith, but we have this guy. in the Persian community. His name's Tafron. He's half black, half Persian.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool guy, comedian. Met him a bunch of times.
Mhm.
Shout out to Tafron, by the way. But he had a meme today talking about you know, how it was making fun of how Biden is, how much connected, or how connected rather Biden is with today's youth or whatever. And he clowned it clowned the musical choices. It's like, so this is what the kids are listening to these days. And then they list the musical choices, which were J Lo, Lady Gaga, and Garth Brooks. And something tells me, yeah, Joe, you might want to get in touch with your audience because
Well,
those people are a little old for the people that you're appealing to right now.
to be honest with you, man, I don't know if that's a fair criticism. I mean, he brought like, I mean, did he
It
bring
was
like
just a meme. I'm fine at it, but
yeah, I mean, like, did he bring like Lil Uzi Vert? No, but he brought like, I mean, like I mean, Lady Gaga. I mean, she's a pop star. I'm pretty sure like people of all ages listen to her. Katy Perry, John Legend. I would say like these are people listen to. Younger people do listen to them.
uh,
Uh,
yes and no. I mean, yeah, no, I'm not going to deny that there aren't people that listen to him, but it's like,
Garth Brooks, yeah, okay, like that one's
okay,
a little,
Garth
but
Brooks is a little old. J Lo, I think, is a little past her prime in terms of people's appeal to her. I haven't heard any like real music out of her for a while. If it is, it's not relevant. And then I guess, and Lady Gaga was brought in simply because of like the factor her little monsters, as she calls them, like are like into her. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just a matter of opinion, matter of taste. Again, not clowning Sleepy Joe, but I know some
yeah,
people had something to say about that and clown about that. I will say that despite the man being massively talented, John Legend does put me to sleep a little bit. He
he
has that
does.
like sleepy man's voice. Like I could sit here and listen to John Legend, and I'm not saying he's not talented, not
Yeah.
saying he doesn't have a dope voice, but it comforts me. I don't know, like it makes me fall asleep. John Legend
Hmm.
doesn't have that voice that wakes me up. It makes me go like,
Interesting. No, I don't know if I share that opinion. I mean, I don't listen to John Legend on the daily, but I mean, I don't know, like I don't know, like I wouldn't fall asleep to him, but
no disrespect to John
Yeah.
Legend, by the way.
Sleep. I just changed the state.
yeah,
Oh, shots fired.
Oh
Bang,
no.
bang. We're gonna get canceled now by John Legend.
no, oh man, oh
Oh
man,
god.
We
No,
love you,
he's got
John.
a few good songs, but in general, it's just not my, not what I like vibe and do.
Well, that's what I mean. It's more relaxing music. Like I would relax.
Mhm.
John Legend calms me down. He relaxes me. It's not something that like I don't know. I just thought it's an interesting choice because usually for things like this, you end up singing like the national anthem, or you sing like pro American songs that make you get up and stick out your chest and at least feel a bit proud. And like
Yeah.
John Legend's voice to me makes me like feel like I want to relax in my recliner and like. But
Well,
hey,
that's because that's what Joe wants to do. He's old, man. He's got to relax.
but with all due respect, the great Frank Sinatra had a voice like that too. But like, I still like him. So
True, but
I guess it's a
Frank
matter of
also had some songs that were more like upbeat. Like John Legend's stuff is like almost all kind of mellow.
I hear that.
fair point.
Um, I feel like, um, but you brought up a point earlier that like connecting with to the youth with music. At the same time, like we gotta also realize that like Biden, um, like when you're president of the country, like you're not just supposed to appeal to the youth. Like I mean, yeah, by all means do that. The youth need representation, but I mean, like again, like they're not like a majority of the youth don't even vote. This is very small. Unfortunately, it's a very small voting block, and like I don't know, like how weird would it be if you just like brought like I don't
Well,
know.
isn't that the kind of people that you
Yeah.
want to bring out anyway and make an
Yeah, he's
effort?
gonna have Lil Peep, Taylor Swift, and
Right.
Say,
who's
like,
another one?
I wouldn't say Little Peep, and I will say this now. I'm not really a fan of Taylor Swift, but Taylor Swift is at least is still within that genre. She has a good
Mhm.
she has a singing voice that people are familiar with. I wouldn't be as a president opposed to that choice. She strikes that balance between you know something that older and younger people could both relate to in terms of. Now, I'm not a fan, but like, no disrespect, Taylor Swift. I'm just, your music's not my cup of tea, but I still respect your talent, your voice. I feel like it's a good balance. Look,
Mhm.
Obama brought Beyonce.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, I mean, and Beyonce did a classy job of at the inauguration. So like, I don't feel like it's too far a stretch to bring somebody in that can connect with both audiences. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh no, that totally makes sense.
But
But
I don't.
even if Biden had brought Beyonce now, even she's a little dated.
Well, yeah, now, but during the Obama administration,
I
that
don't
was
know.
Mhm.
I think like Beyonce, like because she's like such a
I know she's a goddess and she's timeless, Shaheen. I know
to
what
a
you're gonna say.
to a
It's
certain demo,
2021.
to a certain to a certain group of
But
people.
her
They're
kid's name is Ruby. Her kid's name is Ruby. You got to give her at least like a slight point for that.
oh
yeah,
god.
yeah, dude.
Oh
Uh,
Jesus.
yeah.
Just want to
Um,
clarify, I'm not making fun of Beyonce there. She's very talented.
And she's bootylicious.
Dear God.
I mean, I mean,
By her own admission, my body's so
I mean,
bootylicious for
listen.
Fair
you.
enough. It's fair enough.
Earlier in this podcast, I said that Kamala Harris is pretty fine, so you're allowed to say that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on that one because
you don't have
nope.
listen.
Hey.
I've been friends with Keith for 10 years, and like we never agree
we
on
never agree on who's attractive.
yeah, like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Uh,
everyone's got their own taste, and honestly, I'm not, like if like I'm not saying putting it out there as a preferential. I'm just cracking jokes here. Although I won't say that she's not unattractive. I won't say she's unattractive. She has her attractive qualities. But then again, like I don't know. There are people who find Lady Gaga attractive. I don't, But I was concerned
True.
when she was walking down
Yeah.
those steps because she looked like she was feeling out under that huge ass dress. And every second that she took a step to make sure that like she, if you look at that thing, Keith, I know that you didn't catch that part, but like
Mhm.
that dress is fucking huge. It looked like it looked like something out of the Hunger Games. It looked
Is
like
it
she
like
wanted
one
to
of
get
those
up.
like gypsy wedding dresses? I don't know if you've seen those.
Uh,
Is it like big like
may,
that or?
maybe
Oh, okay.
like I kept getting reminded of Hunger Games, where that lady
Mhm.
comes up. She's like, "Please pledge a tribute." The
Oh, what the
Elizabeth
hell
Banks
is her name?
Elizabeth
Is that
Banks.
Effie? I think is the
F-
name of it.
I think it
Something
might
like
have
that.
been her name in the movie, but it was the character played by Elizabeth Banks, where
Yeah.
she had huge, and she even had a huge pin on her top that looked like the Mockingjay symbol.
Jesus
I
Christ.
swear to God, she had a huge. You saw that shit. It looked like a huge Mockingjay.
it did. No,
I need to look this up now. Jesus.
I actually did see the memes where people compared her to the Hunger Games. Yeah, it's good shit. Um,
Oh man.
yeah. So, anyways, is there anything that you're hoping to see um in these next 4 years? Like any, I know like you're not the biggest Biden fan, neither of you, but is there any like something you're looking forward to these next 4 years? I guess like something like whether it's like okay, at least we don't have like Trump's big ass racist mouth, or like some will say like we're going from overt big mouth racism to like quote unquote like friendly racism now, right? Like
Yeah, because that's
yeah,
good. One
just
second, I'm
like
just looking up the
back to
Lady
normal
Yeah,
or
Gaga
something like
thing.
that. Yeah.
I'll take the lead on this while he looks up the Hunger Games pendant, the Mockingjay.
That is obnoxious. That is an obnoxious
Did
fucking
you see
thing.
it? You see it now, right?
Yeah, it takes up half her chest. It's ridiculous. What the fuck is that?
And that, but yet her dress makes that look small.
It does. That is wow.
All right.
Wow.
Next 4 years, while Keith
Yeah.
gathers himself.
All right.
Yeah, next 4 years. Hopefully, in the next 4 years, I'd like to see number one, hopefully the transition of getting away from the pandemic goes smoothly. You know, we don't encounter too many more hiccups with this. I would expect it to happen tomorrow, but hopefully, we'll as the year goes on, we'll slowly get back to a little bit of normalcy.
Mm.
Um, as far as the country's concerned, I hope to see at least a little bit of an effort to implement policies that promote more unity, both within the country and then obviously with our relations outside of it. You know, I have a soft spot for that. Being Iranian American, I'd like it if we had better relationships with, Iran. Although that's kind of wishful thinking, knowing of the people that run the place over there. But more so, even here within the country, hopefully some of these people that had their Trump juice courage slowly dissipate, and we can get back to people realizing that we're people and have a little bit more friendly relations and peaceful relations with one another. I'd like to see people get back to work. A lot of people have been out of work, and again, this is stuff that takes time, but overall, I just like to see people, you know, return to a state where it's not so chaotic. And I know people watching it will tell me that I'm wishful thinking, but I'd like to at least hope that we can salvage and repair some of these relationships that have been torn apart, or this separation and chasm that's been created by this asshole Trump and his less than diplomatic and racial unity policies.
Yeah. I mean, if there's one thing I am happy about, real talk, is just like I'm happy knowing that there's a lot of people out there, like millions of people out there who feel like a genuine sense of like, and I'm talking about like minorities, people of color, and stuff like that, who feel like some sense of relief now. Like, they can take a deep breath, like go to sleep. Like Muslim parents or like I said, like people of color. I know like racism isn't over, and obviously I'm not so naive, and I know that like we're still gonna have some racist policies, of course, unfortunately. But I think like when now that at least like you the country came together and they kind of just said, well, 81 million Americans basically said like no, like we don't want someone in office who openly embraces white supremacy. We don't want that for our country. Um, I think like that's a good thing, and I think it's a step, towards unity and becoming the melting pot that we're meant to be. And I know it's going to take time. It's going to take more than one Biden administration or two Biden administrations, or it's going to take more than it's going to take multiple generations to fix, obviously. But like there's a lot of Muslims I know out there who just feel relieved, and they can bring their family back home now. I mean, like Biden ended the travel ban, so like our family from Iran could like come and visit us again. Like it's not an issue anymore. So I mean, at least like we're back to like Obama level of normal. Granted, I wasn't that happy during Obama's administration because I wanted like a more leftist administration, but at least I feel like I I feel like people don't have to be on the defense as much as we had to, as much as in the past. That's what I have to say about that. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I don't really have any positive expectations one way or another. I'm just glad Trump's gone.
Yeah.
I don't know that things are going to change that much that it's going to be that big of a difference though. Like the feel of the country will be different, like people will be more positive, but I don't know if
Yeah.
like actual things will change
Well, I mean,
to a great extent.
I feel like we always expect like when a politician campaigns on like changing the system, we always like in our heads like unconsciously think that our lifestyle, all of our lifestyles are going to be like fundamentally different. And
Yeah,
then like and then that
but the
person
thing is Washington doesn't really dictate your lifestyle change that much. Like your own like
they
shit that
don't. You're
happens in your
right.
town does, your state maybe, but like
You're
4
right.
years out of Washington in general doesn't affect your life that much most of the time. Like with someone
No,
like
you're
Trump
right.
in office, it will because it's a
Right.
piece of shit. But in general, Washington kind of doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
I see what you're getting at, Keith. And believe me, I can respect that point of view, but because in the past I've held it, you know, for a lot of reasons and in regards to a lot of things. Um, as of recent years, I had a person give me some words of wisdom that I took to heart. It basically said, life will give you no shortage of shit. So there's really no need for you to add additional shit on top of it when it's already coming. Basically, I'm
Hmm.
saying there's already going to be problems that exist. Um, it's not going to benefit me personally to keep thinking of it because these problems exist, that things will keep going in a negative place and make myself feel even worse about it. So, like, again, this is just me personally. The reason I feel the way I feel now is because, hey, yeah, this shit does exist. I mean, there'll be no shortage of shit. We'll continue to get shit. But I'd rather think that maybe we'll get a little less shit over the next 4 years and be a little bit more optimistic about it. That being said, I hate the fucking bipartisan system, and
What do you mean by
yeah,
that?
I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Biden, but you know what? He's the guy in office right now, and I have to somehow hope that he will bring some positive changes to the table. How
Yeah.
many? I don't know. Do I have high expectations? Honestly, no. But that'll make me that more happier if he manages to prove me wrong and somehow um, do more good than I think he will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of view him more as like damage control almost than like an actual like
Yeah.
someone who's going to change some like stuff.
And I think like that's the problem with
Yeah.
our current democratic system is that you have like you like for example you had like a guy like Bush, wreck the country. Then you had Obama, who had to like who basically spent like his first term doing damage control, and and then people were mad at him because they're like, oh, like where's the change? Like how come like how come we're not like number one yet? I'm like, well, because I had to like clean up the mess, right? And that takes time. And then like by the end of Obama's term, like things were actually like really good in the country, relatively. And then like Trump came again, like took credit for Obama's economy, and then
Mm.
basically what ended up happening was he destroyed the country, and now Biden has not just economically, not just with COVID, but just culturally, racially, he provided validation to like the dumbest conspiracy theories out there, um, the worst type of racial beliefs out there. He like provided validation for that, and now we have a completely like divided country. I mean, not that we weren't divided before, but now it's just a brick wall in between two separate realities, and
Yeah. Before it
it's
was like slight disagreements on some things. A few people might get really mad about something, but it wasn't like
yeah,
violent. And now
yeah,
it's like everybody wants to kill each other basically.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's a little different now, obviously. And we've talked about that, it's the
yeah,
polarization stuff.
yeah, and alternate realities and the multiverses in which these Trump tars live in.
Yep.
So
And which timeline wins out, and
right,
all the MCU references we can make.
right. We could just be in like a multiverse right now, and then like we could like literally. Oh shit. Anyways,
Yeah, don't go too
uh,
deep down that rabbit hole.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll just wait for Doctor Strange to come out. The multiverse of madness. We'll explore it then.
Yeah, you just see him like opening up a portal in the inauguration. He's like, guys, like get the fuck in this. Like you got it. Yeah.
You gotta
So
check this reality out.
like this reality is not gonna last much longer, guys. So anyways, I think that's all, I think that's it for today, guys. So we're
Final thoughts.
final thoughts. We're semi hopeful, but not that optimistic. But I think these next 4 years will definitely be better than these last 4 years. At least for myself personally, and hopefully for my co-hosts as well, and for everybody, for everyone out here, except for the the Q-tards and the Trump tards. And I hope you have the worst 4 years. No, I'm kidding. But um, yeah. So that's it. And you guys can give your final thoughts.
Take it away, Keith.
All right. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe for more updates.
Hey,
Yeah.
no, that's a good one.
That's a good
Once
one.
we have a Patreon up, you can donate or make your own GoFundMe for us. We'll appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know. That's don't really have much to say other than hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know in the comments, and you can DM us personally if you want to.
Yes,
We can take it from there. There you go.
That's usually something I'd say, but I love the fact that you took the initiative to do it. So I'll just add two alternative things to it. So, first thing I'd like to say, besides thanking everybody that's watching, is um, I'm just gonna be flat out open about it. Um, if you think that you've got some sort of interesting topic or story that you'd like to discuss, hit us up. We're open. If it's interesting enough, we can go ahead and debate about it, and or not debate, but rather discuss it. And maybe we'll just throw that topic on the show and invite you on. You don't have to be somebody famous, just Joe Schmo or Joel Six Pack. But no, being serious, with all seriousness, you got an interesting story to tell? Hit us up with it. We'll go ahead. We already check all our messages anyway. So if you're interested, hit us with it. And if it's something that, we could touch upon and we feel like we'll bring some positivity to the podcast and that people could benefit from, and then we'll discuss it. And you could probably be the next guest on here. So that'll be number one. Number two, peace to Wheezy. Glad you're free. And Kodak Black, you're a little bitch. Your pardon should be
Hey.
revoked. I don't
Mhm.
care if I get canceled for saying it. You should be canceled for being a fucking pedophile. So that's my final thoughts. Fuck Trump
There
and
you
fuck
go.
Kodak Black.
All right. You heard it
Whoever
here,
next
folks.
sign it out.
You heard it here first, folks. All right, guys. Until next week. Peace out.
Peace.